Don't get stuck thinking that what made you successful will keep you successful. It won't. I'm not saying it might not. I'm telling you, it will not. When you stop growing, you start declining, period.
Welcome to Philosopher Insights, the podcast that delivers wisdom in minutes a day that you can put into practice daily and strive to master over a lifetime.
The podcast committed to sharing ideas that encourage you to bridge the gap between who you are today and the person you aspire to be in the future.
Hi, my name is Herb Lamba, and welcome to my podcast, where I will share practical insights from the world's best authors.
Knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is. The quest to become the best version of you starts right now.
Hey there, and welcome back to another Philosopher Byte. Today, we're tapping into the insights of the incredible Myron Golden. I've always found that listening to Myron is always such a treat. His words have that uncanny ability to resonate deeply, and today's discussion for me was no exception. In fact, I was so inspired that I just had to share it with you as a bonus episode this week. One thing Myron really drives home is this talk about the importance of being a lifelong learner. I mean, think about it. If you wanted to achieve your dreams, you can't just rely on what you already know. You've got to keep growing, keep learning, keep evolving. I know that I was stunned to learn over the years that folks like Warren Buffett, Oprah, and others he refers to in this episode continue to read. They're not content to just coast through life. Nope, they're voracious readers, constantly feeding their minds with new ideas and new perspectives. I mean, seriously, Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Myron himself polished off 5 books in a week. And Oprah, well, she's made reading a daily habit. These people are already set for life, yet they are still hungry for knowledge. It got me thinking, maybe there's a secret sauce here that we all need to tap into. Maybe, just maybe, the key to unlocking our fullest potential lies in the pages of books. The willingness to feed your mind new ideas and apply those ideas that resonate with you to your own life. You see, you don't need to read 500 pages a day like Warren Buffett. You don't need to read 5 books a week like Myron Golden. And you most certainly don't need to read a book a week like I've been doing for a few years. But you do need to read. You need to read every day. That is just part of the message in today's clip. Here is Myron Golden.
I've read a lot of books, like hundreds, potentially thousands. I know I've read hundreds. Potentially I've read thousands. I've read so many books, I don't remember how many books I've read. I've listened to thousands upon tens of thousands of hours of learning material. Like, that's not even a slight exaggeration. I read 5 books last week. And I'm not bragging. Oh, man, you're so smart. That's the exact opposite is the reason I read 5 books last week. Right? Okay. Yeah. I'm smart. Hey, I ain't the smartest guy in the world, but I'm smart enough to know somebody smarter than me. I'm smart enough to know there's something I don't know. I'm smart enough to go figure it out. I know a lot of stuff, but still I read 5 books last week. Why? Because the difference between where I am and where I'd like to be is not going to be found in the things I know and the things I'm doing. It's going to be found in the arena of the things I don't know and the things I'm not doing. You are right now one idea away from your next fortune or first fortune, whichever the case may be. You're one idea, well implemented, away. Not 75 ideas. There was a time Jeff Bezos was one idea from Amazon. Elon Musk was one idea from Tesla. Bill Gates was one idea from Microsoft. Sam Walton was one idea from Walmart. You are one idea away. And you are not going to find it probably watching a football game, baseball game, or a basketball game. And here's the problem. You went through the miseducational, misdirectional system, aka the government indoctrination camps, child prisons, schools, whatever you want to call them. You went through that system. And they caused you to believe that the purpose of learning is knowing. And so you go through life with the I know that already mentality, and it keeps you from learning the things you don't know. Do you realize that Apple did not invent the mouse, the computer mouse? Xerox did. Has anybody ever owned a Xerox computer? No. Why? Because Apple realized, Steve Jobs realized what Xerox have. Xerox didn't realize what Xerox had. Why? Don't get stuck thinking that what made you successful will keep you successful. It won't. I'm not saying it might not. I'm telling you, it will not. When you stop growing, you start declining, period. Here's the formula. Be, do, have. Don't be, can't do, can't have. Be a little, do a little, have a little. Be a lot, do a lot, have a lot. Here's the problem. We love to have. We'll finally capitulate to do something, and then we forget to become. So here's what happens. We will become something. We'll become more than we were. We'll start doing more than we've done, and then we'll have more than we've ever had in our lives. More than ever. And then when we have more than ever, more success than ever, more notoriety, more sales, more blah, blah, blah than ever, here's what happens. People start telling us how awesome we are. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. What's the danger? You start believing them. And so you start believing that you're awesome, and you stop growing because you think you're grown. Am I telling y'all the truth? See, I know a lot about a lot. I just also know I don't know enough about enough. I am always, God is my witness. I do not let a day go by where I don't learn something I didn't know the day before. Period. Ain't happening. Why? I can't afford not to know. It costs too much. It costs too much time, too much effort, too much energy, too much money, too much heartache, too much heartbreak. I ain't fixing to go through life and not know. My whole life? Baby. And so what happens is people will have this success, and because they had success, they think they had success because they were good. And maybe they were for a while. But good has a shelf life. Good has a shelf life. And the shelf life of good ain't eternal. And so think about it like your fitness, right? Oh yeah, I got fit when I was 16. How's it working for you now, baby? No, you got to stay on top of it. Like everything in life is just like that. Why? Because the laws of nature make it so. The law of energy conservation, everything's energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes form, right? The law of entropy, what's that? Anything left to itself tends to move more and more towards disorder. Well, see, entropy makes me afraid not to grow. What does that mean? It means I know that I don't have to intentionally fail. I just have to not intentionally succeed in order for me to fail. Because success requires intention. Decay and decline only requires neglect. Everybody who becomes unsuccessful doesn't become unsuccessful because they did something wrong. It's because they stopped doing something right.
You've been listening to Philosopher Insights with your host, Herb Lamb. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.